Wasted money on cures. Forgot how to fix myself. They say that time is free. Then why is it so precious? Oh, I'll say memories in my head, like Polaroids on walls. They remind you to look ahead. Time is running out. Time is running out. Lately I've lost my track. I've sailed the deeper seas, hoping to find something to bring back better times. Oh, I'll say memories in my head, like Polaroids on walls. They remind you to look ahead. But time is running out. 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 Time is running. Time is running out. But time is running out. What if my best days are over? They can be over. They can't be over now. Time is running out. What if my best days are over? They can't be over now. Time is running out. Time is running out. Time is running out.
Afternoon, everyone. It's Jim here. Welcome to the first in our series of Easter break live revision sessions. And this one is for Edexcel A-Level Business. We've got AQA coming up at 2 o'clock, and these sessions last about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how many questions we get and how many answers in the live chat. I'm joined today by someone who should be familiar to you, particularly if you came to our Great Booster workshops. It's Graham, all the way from Sunderland.
Hello.
You all right?
How are you, Jim? Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Rested up. Had a good, and the sunshine makes a difference, doesn't it? Which is good. So
Yeah,
this
look,
session
yeah.
is live, isn't it? What are we covering today, G? It's theme 1, people.
Theme on people. So, yes, drawing on theme on people, bit of entrepreneurial stuff as well, and a little bit of exam focus, application as well, and a bit of analysis.
Cool.
What could
We
be better?
mentioned-
Oh, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we mentioned the workshops. It's great to meet so many people. We had just short of 8,000 students last week, didn't we, in London, or the week before last. We're back in London for 4 overflow days. So we've got 2 days on AQA, 2 days on Edexcel. If you get a chance to join us at either Stratford, that's the 29th and 30th of April. And then we hop on the tube. I think it's the Central Line. I might be wrong. And we go all the way over to Shepherd's Bush, Westfield White City for Thursday and Friday. Good days, aren't they, G? It's good to see lots of students joining us for this.
It was packed out, wasn't it? Most of our events were sold out before Easter. It was amazing. It was
Still
tippity
a few
top.
seats left. As people are joining us live, a quick reminder that these sessions are recorded, so you can catch up on them at your leisure. We always start, as people are joining the session, with a big reveal. Shall I reveal the clues, G, and you see whether you can beat the audience?
Yes, let's do it. So clue number 1. So this business was founded in 1921. So if you're sat there thinking, I know a business, but it was founded in 1920, it can't be this business because this business was founded in 1921. The first shop was on Oxford Street. So it's a retailer, isn't it? We know that, don't we? Because it wouldn't have a shop on Oxford Street if it wasn't a retailer.
Oxford Street, synonymous, of course, London, isn't it? For those of you outside London.
Yeah. There is a world outside London. That's what I'm told. Clue number 3. It was saved from administration by Hilco in 2013. So I remember this because I used to shop a lot in HMV before then. I
Shop a lot, where, G? In Boots.
Oh, I've made a faux pas there, haven't I?
B&Q.
I've made a faux pas. Clue number 4.
A faux pas.
Yeah. How
More
did
than
you
that.
get it? How did you get it? Yeah. The problem I have is my mouth is 5 seconds ahead of my brain. So the logo is a dog nipper. What could it be? Looking into a phonograph. Clue number 5.
Quite a few people have guessed it. I don't know how.
Clue number 5.
Yeah, sorry. Clue number 5. Yeah, just hang on.
It's a music retailer. But what I'm going to ask now is, because obviously I give the game away, clue number 3, what does HMV stand for?
Good. Yeah, that's nice.
Extension activity there. So it is HMV. Well done if you got it. But what does HMV stand for? It is his master's voice. HMV.
Yep.
Sorry.
Hilco have bought. I was very close with His Majesty's violins, which was. I think he plucked that one from out of thin air, but not quite the right answer. Hilco are quite an interesting business, aren't they? They're a venture capitalist, aren't they? And they specialize in buying retailers, well-known retailers in distress, as they go into administration or go bust, and then trying to turn them around and then flog them.
So this has got a paper 3 feel. So I would be all over HMV, as well as independent record stores as well.
Good stuff.
Okay, so we've got some MCQs. There are 4 possible answers. All you need to do is identify the correct one. So whose motivational theory is known as the human relation theory? Never been examined. This particular theory has never been examined. How do I know? Because I've just done the topic tracker again. Better late than never. But so I know it's not been examined. So whose motivational theory is known as the human relations theory? Is it Hertzberg, Taylor, Maslow, or Mayo? So some believe it's Hertzberg. Some believe it's Maslow. It's definitely one of those. And
I think his first name was Elton.
It was.
Not that that helps the answer.
No, but a bit of confusion. It just shows the importance of you've really got to be on top of your knowledge and understanding with this one. So it is the human relations theory. It is, of course, Elton Mayo. Great stuff.
They say, don't they, that Mayo's theory, along with Hertzberg, is probably the most relevant for modern day motivation.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe Taylor, in particular, less relevant with its emphasis on performance and piece rate and stuff.
Still useful, though. Still useful to know.
Well, examiners are paid, aren't they, by exam answers? So they use Taylor.
Piece rate. So the addition of extra similar tasks to a job is known as a job enrichment, job enlargement, job rotation, or empowerment. So adding extra similar jobs to a job is known as a job enrichment, job enlargement, job rotation, empowerment. Again, it's one of those where that topic's never been specifically examined, but you can bring it into a lot of answers in terms of questions on motivation and things like that. Nearly 300 people joining us now.
Yeah. I mean, all those A, B, and C all sound similar, don't they? But there are some subtle differences between the 3 of them.
Yeah, a lot of people going for A and a lot going for B. It seems to be about 50-50.
Yep.
So should we have a look at the answer? It is job enlargement because it's similar tasks. So it's just adding more of the same, really. Do you remember signing my booklet in Bristol? I do remember because it was the only booklet I was asked to sign. And there was a few of you from memory. I think there was 3 or 4 in a pile, but I did sign them. Are they on eBay now, Christopher? So it's job enlargement. Yeah,
job enrichment is sort of, I always associate that with giving you maybe more difficulty, more complexity in terms of the task that you're given to do rather than the same or more of the same.
Yeah, and job rotation is just rotating around different jobs in the workplace. The idea is to reduce boredom, really.
Question
stuff.
3. Shall I do this one? The delegation of one or more business services to an external provider is known as, well, it's one of those 4. So I could say, I can help you out here with it's either A, B, C, or D, but it's obvious. But this is a concept that I think is often confused with other similar sounding phrases. So it's one of those things that as with all A-level business studies, you've got to be bang on top of your terminology.
Confusing pairs, I think we call these, don't we?
Yeah. So is it decentralization? Is it outsourcing? Is it offshoring? Or could it be franchising? All 4 potential answers, aren't they? Plausible answers. Most people, Ewan, Jerome, Hayden, all going for the same one. Gunman and others are going for what I believe to be the correct answer, which is indeed B, outsourcing. Outsourcing is where you ask somebody outside of the business, that's the way to remember it, an external provider, to do something for you. So, for example, examples of outsourcing might be you might ask for an external cleaning company to come and clean, the offices or the school or the factory, or you might outsource security or IT or finance. In other words, getting another business to do it for you. Offshoring, which is often confused with, is where the thing takes place, but you might still be doing it as a business. So you might offshore production from, say, Yorkshire to Poland, but it might still be you doing it. So that's not outsourcing, but it is offshoring. So well done for those of you who got B. Next one, G.
There's the question about where can I find the latest version of the topic tracker on our website.
I'll stick a link to it on the live chat or the comments of this session when we're finished.
Okay. So these are 2 statement questions. So all you have to do is read the statements and decide whether each statement is true or false and select the corresponding letter. So according to Maslow, safety needs must be satisfied before social needs can be used to motivate employees. Statement 2, according to Hertzberg, pay is a motivator. So are those statements true or false? So if you think both are true, select A. If you think both are false, select D, and so on and so forth. So according to Maslow, safety needs must be satisfied before social needs can be used to motivate employees. So the majority are going for, we've got some comedians in putting E. Always makes us laugh, that. And
most people go for the same one.
Most people going for B, but some going for C. Not as many, but shall we reveal the answer? Yes, so statement 1 is true. So according to Maslow, the needs lower down the hierarchy must be satisfied in order for the next ones to motivate. And that's really good when you're given a chain of reasoning. You can only say, for example, social needs can motivate if the previous needs have been met. So that's the way to build logical, developed chains of reasoning. And according to Hertzberg, pay is a motivator. It's not. According to Hertzberg, it is a hygiene factor. It merely reduces dissatisfaction. Great stuff. I think we've got one more of these, haven't we?
One more. So do you want to do this one, G?
Yeah. So
you're on top of the MCQs.
Yeah. So on the paper 3 pre-release, entrepreneurs and role, I think it's roles of an entrepreneur on there, but it's definitely entrepreneurs. So we need to be all over this. So creating and setting up a business is a characteristic of an entrepreneur. Is that true or false? Democratic leadership is more likely in an organization that views staff as a cost. So statement 2 covers 2 topics there: leadership and viewing staff as an asset or a cost. So what do we think? Is it A, B, C, or D? Now, creating and setting up a business, roles of an entrepreneur and characteristics of an entrepreneur are frequently examined, and students often get them wrong. Often. Some students, the majority, I think, have got it right. Not everyone, so it's a good job we covered it.
Yeah.
But the majority are going for, and for D.
Excuse me. Should we have a look?
Yeah. It is D. So creating and setting up a business is a role of an entrepreneur, not a characteristic. So if you get an 8-mark question, in paper 3, like assess 2 roles of an entrepreneur, and you'd be given a context. If you start talking about characteristics such as being hardworking and things like that, then you're not going to access the knowledge and understanding, so you're not going to get many marks. So you need to know the difference between roles of an entrepreneur, characteristics of an entrepreneur, and moving from an entrepreneur to leader. And yes, democratic leadership is more likely in an organization that views staff as an asset rather than a cost. You would associate maybe autocratic leadership, Jim, with viewing staff as a cost.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think you can link concepts such as Taylor and autocratic leadership viewing staff as a cost, therefore to maximize efficiency. I think all of those concepts are linked, aren't they? Whereas I think
indeed.
Mayo would almost certainly have said that democratic leadership is an effective leadership style. And therefore, Mayo would probably also have said you should treat staff as an asset.
Definitely.
So I think that the beauty of the people topic is the way you can link models and theories and concepts together. And it all helps add depth, doesn't it, to the answer?
Definitely. Right.
We
so
are,
I think we've got
we are 10 minutes into the live. Somebody's asking how long will this be live? It's always good when we ask people how long it's going to be. But we've got 15 minutes left, haven't we? Should we do a definition spinner? Let's now, as you may have know, if you've been to our Grey Booster workshops, this is all live, powered by the wonders of AR.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why we do it live and random is so it makes it as much fun for Graham in particular as it is for me. So all I need to do is spin the wheel and let's see where it lands, and then over to you in the live chat. I'll try and put maybe one or two answers on the board for Graham to comment on. And well, it must be live because it's never landed on that before.
Yeah.
Collective bargaining. What do we mean by the term collective bargaining? Obviously drawn from the paper from the theme one. People part of the specification.
Yeah.
But
Collective bargaining.
what do we think? I'll have a look in the live chat.
On the specification, you have collective bargaining and then the individual approach to employer-employee relations. So that's what we need to be aware of. Funnily enough, interestingly, entrepreneurship, I don't think it's being examined. Not saying it will, we can't predict the future, can we, Jim?
No, you should ignore all the nonsense from anyone who's offering predicted papers and all that kind of stuff. It's complete rubbish. Just got to prepare, haven't you? Prepare as effectively as possible.
So, Fraser, which topic is this? This is all theme one people. So
I'll stick we've got some good answers coming through now. People are typing away, so I'll stick 2 or 3 on the screen. Ahmed was one of the first there. Employees coming together to try, no guarantee you'll succeed. I like that, to increase their pay, improve their pay and working conditions.
Hedging word.
Yeah. Ethan's extended that to give an example of collective bargaining, which is perhaps the most common example, which is forming or becoming part of a trade union, where the trade union effectively represents a group of employees and collectively bargains with employers.
It doesn't have to be a trade union, of course, but that is the most obvious mechanism of, because, some businesses don't recognize trade unions. The process which workers through employee representatives, that's a brilliant answer, negotiate terms of pay, working hours, benefits. And the theory is, Jim, isn't it, that like collectively, you've got more power. It's a bit like, if you think of buyer power and porter, collectively you have more power against the employer when you work together. A process where employers and a group of employees negotiate terms and conditions of employment, like wages, benefits, and bonuses. I couldn't put it better myself.
No, I was just going to say, do we need to see your answer, G, or should we just leave that one on the screen? Awesome answer.
Well, might as well. I've gone the effort of typing it on the slide, so... Well, I typed them all out on the slide because it was completely random. We never knew which one was going to happen. So, where workers negotiate employment terms as a group, typically represented by a trade union, rather than individually, to increase their power. The idea is 5 people bargaining is more likely to have an effect than 1 person. Yeah,
that's the point, isn't it?
It is the point.
Awesome stuff. Now, I know we go on and on about application and specialist terminology, but now is the time, isn't it, to really lock in and work through the specification. If there's a term on there that you're not familiar with, you can't remember what it was, now is the time to highlight it and work on them. Make the world of difference when it comes to the exam. Should we do another one? Let's spin the wheel again. Let's see.
I hope it doesn't land on collective bargain again.
Well, if it does, I'll just put Lucy's answer on.
Opportunity cost have just appeared. That would be an opportunity cost, wouldn't it, if it landed on collective bargaining again? Decentralization. So, what do we mean by the term decentralization? Now, remember, there's really no need. I mean, it can be good practice to start answers with a definition. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can get knowledge and understanding, the knowledge marks through the main body of your response. And I would always advise, if you're a little bit unsure of the term, I would exercise caution whether I would define the wrong term. So decentralization and centralization are 2 concepts that are often confused. So we've got Freya there, and Ahmed, where employees are joined with the decision making, where employees have more role in decision making.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a feature of decentralization, isn't it? It doesn't quite do the whole definition, really.
Yeah.
But that is a consequence of decentralization. Let's take Ewan's on the transfer of control to several local offices or authorities rather than a single. So a transfer, it's a transfer of decision making away from the centre, isn't it? Harry gives the example here, devolving decision making to lower levels of business. So, for example, you could say possibly to a lower level of the organisational hierarchy. But it's about making away from the centre, isn't it? The centre of power.
Spreading decision making and responsibility throughout the hierarchy, really.
Yeah, so Danielle's point here, power or resources are moved from a central authority, centralisation, to away from the centre, decentralising, often to local or regional levels. Rose is making the point that therefore, decision making isn't all done by a central management team. For example, you might delegate or allow local marketing decisions around price or products that you offer in your store, maybe to a local store manager rather than somebody sat in the centre making those kind of decisions.
Let's just because I signed his book, let's put Christopher's up there. Obviously, that book was touched by the pen of learning when we signed it. The process of delegation or delegating decisions, making power from a main figure of authority to the lower levels of the hierarchy. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a really good answer. I think sometimes, a lot of students get confused and think it's like one person making all the decisions, but it's decision at the centre is like headquarters making all the decisions. That's a great answer. Great stuff.
Yep, really good. Should we see what your answer was? Let's have
a look.
Tell you what, I'm glad I've got somebody who's really good on the buttons today.
A type of organisation design structure where decision making is spread out to include more managers within the hierarchy. That's what it says in the around that specification. Great stuff there.
Okay, right.
Organisation design and structure. I think we've got a calculation now.
We couldn't do a live stream without calculations, albeit I don't think there are many calculations in Theme 1, people, are there?
None. I don't think so. So we've engineered one.
Take us through it, G, and then I'll spin the wheel when we're up and running.
So we've got a business here that manufactures fridges called Cell Fridges, and it's not only a manufacturer, it's a leading manufacturer. The business employs both part-time and full-time staff. Last year, the business employed 680 full-time staff, 85% of the total number of employees. This year, is there no calculations in paper one? There is calculations in paper one, just there's no calculations in this part of the theme. This year, the business aims to increase the number of part-time staff by 15%. So the question is, calculate the estimated number of part-time staff in the business this year. So we know that 680 full-time staff, which was 85% of the total number of employees. So we need to find out how many part-time employees then increase that by 15%.
Shall I spin the wheel, G, before you announce the answer?
Yeah. Before I get carried away.
Must be a big business there with its own logo like that.
It is, yeah. Cell fridges. Some quick, quick on the go there. It's obviously we were handing out our Edexcel calculation practice books, weren't we, as prizes in the. So if you got one, if you were at the Grade Booster and you got one of those, you might recognise this question, or a similar type of question. So. Some great working out as well. Yeah,
I've picked a couple of answers. I'll stick on the screen in a second or two.
Harry Miles. Didn't we use a business last year called Harry Tiles?
We did.
Didn't we?
Not saying whether these are right or wrong, but I'm just putting a few answers on the screen.
But you're tending to put the right answers up there, to be fair. You're not putting any wrong answers up there.
At my discretion, isn't it? Which answers get... it's purely random which answers get put on the screen.
It is. Let's hope I got 138 with the calculations on the next slide.
Should we go through the workings?
Yes, Madison, we're going to go through it. So we know that the total number of employees must be 800 because 680 employees was 85% of the workforce. So 680 divided by 85 times 100 is 800 employees. So if there were 800 employees and 680 were full-time, that means 120 must be part-time. We increase those by 15%, 120 times 1.15. Now, percentage changes, always cause students a difficulty, especially when it comes to PED and YED calculations. And with that in mind, if you attended the Grade Booster workshop, in the back of the booklet, we put in a guide on how to calculate percentages, but fear not. If you went to the Grade Booster workshop, you can access that on our website, so you can download that for free. So make sure you practice percentage changes. It is really important.
Yep. A number of people put in the live chat the number for last year, which was 120, which was sort of two parts of the calculation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But not applying the 15%. So you'd still get some marks for that, provided you showed your process.
Definitely. That's why always show you're working out.
Yeah.
Always.
I think that's our only calculation on this session, isn't it? I might be wrong.
You're right.
So let's move on to not a definition spinner this time, application.
Another random spinner. So it's an application spinner here. So we're looking at the topic of motivation, and what we want is we want you to apply the benefits of a motivated workforce to whatever it lands on. So if it lands on a supermarket, how would a supermarket benefit from having motivated employees? So we did a technique, didn't we, at the workshops called using business and industry specific language, using the words of the industry or business to season your answer with application. So should we see what lands on?
Yeah, why not? It'll be a gym like it always is.
Oh, restaurant. So all we want is, how would a restaurant benefit from having a motivated workforce? So the key to a question such as this is identify the type of staff who work in a restaurant and then explain how those particular staff would be. So, Julio, can we just put that answer straight on there? Because it's a great response, but what we want is, better customer service and more satisfied customers. It's a restaurant, so we could change that word customers, couldn't we, to something else to make it more applied. So you could talk about diners, couldn't you? Better customer service and more satisfied diners. That would make it more applied. Better customer service from who work in a restaurant. So that's the type of thing we want here. So using the word restaurant's not going to get us those application marks, really, because it's in the question. And so here, a motivated kitchen and service team ensure better food quality, faster service, and an overall better customer experience. So we're really getting there, aren't we, Harry Miles?
Kian's got the idea, a faster service. So they talk, restaurants serve customers and clients, certainly, or diners.
Yeah.
Better motivated chefs. So the use of the word chef is application. And a positive dining experience.
Yeah.
Dining.
We've got Richie's got some good stuff there. Harry Barker's talking about, chefs may become more productive, producing a high amount of meals. The thing is with that, just be careful. Can we put Harry's on there?
Yeah.
Harry Barker, this is a really important point. So increase the number of sales. That's really interesting. Labour productivity, just because a business produces more, doesn't automatically lead to increased sales. And that's a line of analysis that a lot of students sometimes fall into. It may do, but it's not always the case. I would be looking around the fan about more efficiency, labour unit costs, and things like that. Great point.
So you could add a line of analysis that says if the chef is more productive, that might reduce the unit cost of each meal, which may enable them to reduce the prices on the menu.
But then again,
consequently, quantity demanded might increase.
The thing is, the two most important words in analysis is how and why. So if you said, well, actually, if the chefs become quicker at producing a meal, maybe the diners aren't hanging around as much.
Yeah.
Better service, and then they may say, actually, I've got good service there, I'm going to come back. So, if you just added that little bit at the end there, great answer. Cost efficiency.
Iron's put some fantastic. He's really going all in on this one with the application concept of using industry-specific context. We've got chefs, we've got curries, we've got pasta. We've got it all.
Starving now. Should we have a look what we had?
Yeah. Once again, I think we've been outsmarted by the
Yeah, we just went for bullet points, really. So more attentive and timely table service. So, maybe, more attentive tables. So, how you're doing. Would you like the dessert menu? I always like to be shown the dessert menu. I don't have to be shown the dessert menu because I'm always going to get a dessert, but it's always nice to be asked. Better quality food. Diners taking orders down more accurately. So diners' orders, sorry. So, just a bit more care and attention. Friendlier waiting staff. So just using those words, table service, quality food, diners, waiting staff, just roots it in the industry, doesn't it? So that's what we're after.
Yeah, we're after answers that aren't generic, that couldn't apply to any business, and just simple techniques like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for a car manufacturer, would it? It wouldn't work for a car manufacturer, would it?
No, and also there's no such thing as a friendly car salesman either. Well, actually, no, they are friendly, but actually they're ruthless, aren't they? Danny DeVito, isn't he? Danny DeVito always plays the car salesman.
Yeah, one of my favourite Christmas movies of all time. You're a big fan of that as well, aren't you?
Worst Christmas movie ever. Right, we're going to finish with a mini case study. If I introduce it and set it off to you, and then we'll have a look and see what people think. So, really a top quality retailer franchise business here, Rohan. There's one just around the corner from us. Rohan itself is an outdoor clothing and footwear brand, and they've now got over 50 stores in the UK with an annual turnover of 30 million and rising. Recently voted the second best high street retailer, Rohan has expanded via franchising. The minimum investment to open a Rohan franchise is £40,000, and franchisees receive a comprehensive training package and an ongoing nationwide marketing program. So the question for people to consider in the live chat is, what are the benefits and downsides? So a bit of balance there, but to a franchisee of operating a Rohan. So maybe think of one benefit and one downside. Obviously, the question's asking for two.
Yeah. So if that was a 10 or 12 mark question, assess the benefit of to a franchisee of operating a Rohan franchise. What a benefit. A counter argument and a judgment is all we need, really. But yeah, we've asked for a couple either side here. It's a big statement, isn't it? Being the second best high street retailer. I wonder what was the best at the time.
Oh, the best retailer.
Who was the best retailer? Second best. We're not the best, but we're the second best.
But do we know who the best was?
Do you know what I did when I wrote it?
It's going to be M&S Food, isn't it? Or
phrase saying the guys at Nissan in Sunderland are nice. Everyone from Sunderland's nice. So one risk of franchising, you can incur costs when paying royalties to the franchisor. That's a good point, and that's linked to franchisees. That's what we want. A larger presence,
so we're looking for
brand awareness.
Well, you've got to answer this from the point of view of a franchisee rather than the franchisor, isn't it?
Franchisor, yeah.
So Chris has gone with the classic, isn't it? The classic answer for this, which is from a franchisee's point of view, low risk. So rather than you setting up a clothing and footwear shop, why not set one up that has a brand with existing products, reputation, all that kind of stuff?
What's interesting here is, and it's not criticism, it's constructive, but and it happens in exams, the amount of people not using the information on the screen. Yeah, we're just defaulting to the textbook advantages and disadvantages. So if you just take Christopher's answer down a second, we can see here that franchise. So basically, it's about operating not any franchise, operating a Rohan franchise. So here, a downside is potentially it's going to cost £40,000. A benefit is you're going to get a comprehensive training package and nationwide marketing program. You're going to have a franchise in the UK's second best high street retailer. No one knows what the best high street retailer is. And also, it's got 50 stores and an annual turnover. So we know it's a successful business. So rather than saying operating a franchise reduces risk, you can apply it and say because it's a franchise in a business that has 50 stores and a turnover of 30 million. So that's how we apply our answers, really. So always use, and we've got a golden rule, haven't we, Jim? If there's data and information in the extract, it's got to be in your answer.
Data and information in the answer. So Keane's used that. He's used the fact that, which is an issue, isn't it? That when you're signing up for this training package, that means you've got to follow the rules. There's a system of retailing that Rohan require you to follow in terms of how products are displayed, priced, and all the rest of it. The layout of the store, all set for you. If you don't follow it, you lose your franchise, which I would say is probably on balance a downside. You've got no freedom of deciding, but you might also argue if you're not an experienced retailer, maybe that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Just do what you're told. Should we have a look
so
at
I
the
think
two answers that you suggested?
Yeah. So I think the takeaway here is use the information in the extract. So
Yeah.
it may allow franchisees to start and run their own business with less risk of failure than running their own independent clothing business. This is because they will receive ongoing training and support. It said that in the extract. The franchisee will also benefit from the established brand name, especially it was UK's second best retailer, so more application there. However, it does require an initial investment of 40,000. It is likely that they need to pay the franchisor ongoing royalties from the clothing and footwear sales of the business. This reduces the amount of sales revenue, which may result in low profit compared to running their own independent outdoor clothing business. That just shows you how you can take one point and really develop it using contextualized analysis. Great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's data or information in the case study, it should be in your answer, shouldn't it? Well, not just regurgitating it, but using
seasoned.
it.
Seasoned.
That's what we want. We are
All
done.
the application is being used.
Yeah, we are done, mate. I'm just going to get onto this little sign-off screen here. So I think we take a day off. I think we're back on Wednesday with theme 2 finance from memory.
Yeah.
That'd be right, wouldn't it? We've done marketing, we've done people. Must be theme 2 next. So same time, 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And then the day after, I think we're doing a bit of resource management and external influences, also theme 2. And then we'll get on to some calculation specials and some question type specials as well as we go through the Easter period. But for now,
Brilliant.
cheers, G. It's been great to see you.
And you too.
We're back again in half an hour, aren't we, for some AQA?
Yeah.
And then our day is done. Hopefully your revision's going well, folks. Keep going. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers now.